Maybe I should make a simple intro so I don't have to do these little animations every time. But, like, what could I do? I got it! Yugioh
is fucking expensive.
Well, last week we opened up $38 worth of Hidden Summoners. We did not get a Manju, but we did get 2 Preparation of Rites, which was pretty cool. So this week we are opening up another $38 worth of Hidden Summoners. That's 12 packs. Hopefully we can pull at least 1 Manju. I know it's a short print in here, but yeah, let's see what we could do. Let's crack into them. So starting off, we have Poisonous Mayakashi, Prankid's Lampsies, Bow Wow Bark, Prankid's Plan, and the Ice Mayakashi. Next pack. So we have Rocket Ride, Dropsies, Sacred Phoenix, Fansies, and the Wheeled Mayakashi. Next up, Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, Tatsunoko, Chronicle of Nephthys, Defender of Nephthys, and the Winged Mayakashi. We got Awakening of Nephthys, Refusion, Chronicler, Shinobi Spirit Master, and Prankid's Battle Butler. In the next one, we got Last Hope of Nephthys, Washer, Spectral Sword, Rocket Ride, and the Wheeled Mayakashi. It's gonna suck so bad if we don't end up pulling one. Shiranui Samurai, Nephthys, Night End Sorcerer, Poisonous, and Ice. Awakening, Hand, Night End, Desynchro, and Mayakashi. Next we have Last Hope of Nephthys, Weather Washer, Pandemonium, Plan, and another Gold Sarcophagus. Starting to think it's not even really in this set. Prank Kids Pranks. Oh, there we go. Manju of the 10,000 Hands. Awesome. At least we got one of it. That's cool. Next, we have Fulfillment of the Contract and Mayakashi Return. Can we pull a second one? Spectral Sword, Rebirth of Nephthys, Gozen Match, Rivalry of Warlords in the same pack again right after each other. That's cool. Might be something to side deck one of those. Samurai, Rivalry, Gozen Match, Pandemonium, and Mayakashi. Last pack of Hidden Summoners. Alright, so we got our third Preparation of Rites, Flash Fusion, Desynchro, and Dropsies, as well as another Prank Kids Place. I think that's a really good pull. So we got 2 Prank Kids Place in this box. That's really freaking awesome. All right, so we have 3 Preparation of Rites, 1 Manju of the 10,000 Hands. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with the deck this week. You guys know what time it is. Time to show off the deck profile. We start off with 1 Chaos Dragon Leviathan. Actually really helps out in this deck because it cannot be normal summoned or set. We can special summon it. I think it can also special summon out the ritual monsters that have already been special summoned out, other than the Herald of Ultimateness, simply because it says on the card that it must be ritual summoned. Then we have Vanity's Ruler, Good Floodgate. We have Manju of the 10,000 Hands. I'm thinking about getting more Hidden Summoners to try to get more Manju, because We don't have a lot of normal summons in this deck, and adding the ritual monsters to our hand is actually really good. So we also have one Herald of the Orange Light, one Herald of the Green Light, and then we move on to the Drytron package. We have 3 Zeta, 3 Alpha, we run 3 Gamma, and then 2 Deltas simply because it's not that great of a card. It lets you draw one, that's about all it really does. And then one Beta, just because it's a name, and if you banish one of your cards with one of your Drytron Ritual Monsters effects, you can bring it back to the graveyard. Next up, we have our 2 smaller monsters, 2 level 1, Effect Veiler and Eva. They're just basically normal summons too, and of course Effect Veiler is a hand trap, and Eva can bring hand traps to your hand. Next, we have our ritual monsters. We have our Drytron Draconids, we have our Quadrantids, Ultimateness, Ben 10, Eda 10. For our spells, we're running 3 Cyber Emergency, 1 Terraforming with 3 Drytron Fafnir. We're also running 1 Nova and 1 Mediona's Drytron. I'm probably going to have to open up some more Genesis Impact pretty soon, because we definitely could use another Nova. And then finally 3 Preparation of Rites. For the trap cards, we have 1 Imperm, 1 Bottomless, and 1 Solemn Warning to round off the main deck. One thing that I'm actually pretty excited about is that because of our Hidden Summoners opening, we actually have a pretty viable side deck now. So we have 1 Ghost Spell, 1 Honest, and 1 Herald of the Purple Light. For the spells, we have Deck Lockdown, MST, Drytron, Asterism ×2. And then for the traps, we have 3 Gozen Match, along with 3 Rivalry of Warlords. That's basically what filled up the rest of our side deck. And then we have our Bottomless Trap Hole and Paleozoic Dinomischus. Let's go ahead and go into the extra deck. We are running 1 Herald of the Mirage Light, 1 Crystron Halqifibrax, Access Code Talker, 2 Link Karibos with a Psyframe Lord Omega, Selene Queen of the Master Magicians, Griffin, Unicorn, and 2 Phoenix. That's all we have for the extra deck right now. Let's go ahead and jump into the duels and see how we do this week. In match number 1, we are going against Biennas, who we have dueled before, and he's actually using his Cyverse deck. He's doing a challenge thing with it where he's only able to use 1 of each card in the deck. So let's see how this turns out. We end up on a board with just a Manju and I believe a Zeta on our side of the field. He summons out Dot Scraper, summons out the Link Karibo. He brings out a Splash Mage, and then he brings out Transcode Talker, bringing back the Splash Mage, using Signet Backdoor to add Microcoder, going into Access Code Talker, and giving it an additional 3,000 attack points. We didn't activate our Bottomless Trap Hole because, of course, Lingaribo would have actually stopped it. So he activates his trap card, and we just surrender from there. There was absolutely nothing we could do, and let's go ahead and go into duel number 2. In duel number 2, we go first. We use Drytron Nova, and we bring out Alpha and I believe Zeta. Go into Gamma. Oh, we didn't have Zeta, never mind. But we just summon out the Vanity's Ruler and bring out another Drytron monster. Use Mediona's to bring out a 4K beefy boy. And he surrenders because there's nothing he could do under Vanity's Ruler. So let's go into game number 3 of match 1. So this will be the game that decides it all. Biennas goes first, summoning out Flame Buffalo, going into his Solomon Great monster. Now it's our turn. We go and activate Fafnir, and we use Nova to bring Gamma. Then we activate Alpha, which gets called by the grave, and we proceed to sign it, or what is it? I forget, it's the Cyber Dragon card that this deck runs. It's like Rhoda for the deck. But anyway, we made that mistake by using Alpha to bring out another card, and then trying to use the Alpha from the hand, because it just outed us 2 cards, and it was just, I'll try not to do that again. But, you gotta look out for that Called by the Grave. He summons out Widget Kid, goes into, the 4-Mud Skipper, goes into his Ignister monster, and summons out Splash Mage, bringing back Armor Bitroid, going into Transcode Talker. We activate Bottomless Trap Hole because we had to try something, right? He goes into Transcode Talker, or sorry, Access Code Talker. He gets rid of our Linkuriboh, gets rid of our Field Spell, gets rid of our monster, sets a back row, hits us for 5,300, and ends his turn. We summon out Manju, activating its effect, which gets effect Veilered. And we go into activate Alpha. From there, we just end our turn, and he's just able to attack over our monster for lethal damage. And that is match number 1. In match number 2, we're going to friend against our friend Nick. His name is Demurer Tundra. Go ahead and check him out. All the links to these YouTubers will be in the description down below. But he summons out 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons one during the end phase. So we go into pre-preparation of rites. We activate Zeta. We activate Ben 10's effect. Then we go into Gamma, summoning out the Zeta again, ending our turn with 2 defense position monsters. So he goes into Chaos Dragon Levianeer, which we effect Veiler, and then we negate the effect of his Xyz monster. He attacks over one of our monsters and brings out Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, passes turn. We activate Fafnir, we add Nova, we activate Nova, summon out Alpha, go into Linkuriboh, and then we activate Zeta, which gets negated. We were kind of anticipating that. He brings out the Azurai Silver Dragon, and we pass turn. From there, he has Azurai, he summons out the Blue Eyes White Dragon, goes into Maiden and attacks into us. We Linkuriboh his monster, and he just big flexes, attacking us with 0, 0, and 3k. Now it's our turn. We use Alpha, we add the Quadrantids, we go into Gamma with Zeta, we go into Cyber Angel Benton, we bring back the Meteonis, we use Zeta, and we go into the 4k Beefy Boy that can attack all special summon monsters. So he hits for 1,000, hits for 15. We attack into his Maiden with Ben 10, and then we attack over his newly special summoned Blue Eyes White Dragon. So he just surrenders from there. He probably, I don't know what he could have gotten with that trade-in, but he probably could have tried to activate it. Maybe, I don't know if he runs Dark Hole or anything like that, but oh well. We'll go into game number 2 and see what happens. So in game number 2, he goes first using Dragon Shrine, sending the White Stone. He draws into a Solemn Judgment. That's pretty cool. Summons out his alternative, goes into his Blue Eyes, summons out the Xyz monster, setting another card and passing turn. So now he has the Solemn Judgment, and we get our Fafnir Solemned. He proceeds to, or it's our turn, we proceed to go into Linkuriboh and pass our turn. Now he Silver's Cries, but we Solemn Warning that. And he has two pretty beefy monsters, but we use Linkuriboh to get rid of one of his monster's attacks. He hits us for 3k, so we're down to 3k. So we use Gamma, and we set a card face down, passing turn, because we couldn't use any of the effects from the graveyard. We Bottomless Trap Hole his Chaos Dragon. He brings out a Blue Eyes, and he summons the Hieratic Sun Dragon thing. We use Linkuriboh. Our defense gets hit, and now it's our turn. We Cyber Emergency into our Zeta. We activate Alpha on Zeta. We bring a Ritual. We summon out Zeta. We use Meteonis. We activate the Meteonis. We go into our big ol' monster and then into our Access Code Talker, getting rid of his field and attacking into him for lethal damage. So we're 1-1 right now. Thanks for the duel, Nick. I enjoyed it. And you'll probably get me next time. That deck is getting super strong. Up next, we are up against the Toon Master Rainnite, going up against us with his Kaiju and Toon deck, which actually newly has some Grenmaju mixed into it. So we actually go into a bunch of different stuff. We bring out our Eva. We add 2 fairies to our hand. We attempt to pop his back row with Phoenix. We get Nibiru, and he kind of did it at the wrong time. We end up kind of playing through it a little bit by bringing out another monster and setting a back row. If we had more cards, we could have probably done some decent things. But anyway, we probably could have linked that off too. But anyway, we just go into Delta, and we go into Beta. We activate Midiona's Drytron, bringing out the 4K beefy boy. We hit him for 1,000, and we bring out the Linkuriboh. Now it's his turn. He Kaiju's our monster and passes turn. We go into Beta, go into Alpha. We add the Herald. We bring back the Midionis. We summon out the Delta. We draw a card. We go into our Herald, which gets super polyed away into Muddy Mud Dragon, or Mud Dragon of the Swamp, my bad. We go into Vanity's Ruler and attack over his monster, attack for 3,300, and pass turn. So he draws into Ash Blossom, sets it face down, and we use Beta, use Midionis, go into Gamma, Beta, Alpha, Midionis into the Draconids, I believe. And he just kind of surrenders from there. So we'll go into game number 2 and see what happens. Game number 2 of match 3, we use the Fafnir, use Nova, bring out Gamma, use Cyber Emergency. We go into our Alpha, and then Beta, and then use Gamma. We summon out Vanity's Ruler, and pass our turn. He uses Pot of Desires, gets Comic Hand to his hand. That's like our worst enemy card. He goes into Vanity's Ruler, and now he uses There Can Be Only One, and we just surrender because there is absolutely nowhere we could go from there. So now we are in duel number 3 of match number 3. So he activates his Gozen match. We go into Alpha. We go into Zeta. We bring the Vanity's Ruler to hand. Go into Ben 10. He super polys our 2 monsters together. After which we bring out the Midionis. We summon out our Delta. Draw a card. Use Pre-Preparation of Rites. And we attack over his monster. And our Ben 10 gets Sideframe Gear Gamma. Set a card face down and pass turn. Sets the There Can Be Only One. Now it's our turn. He activates it, so we're kind of locked down a little bit more. We go into Gamma, end our turn. And he summons the Pankotrops, which we Solemn Warning. And then it's our turn again. We use Fafnir. It gets Ash Blossomed. We go into Midionis Drytron, summoning out Eva 10. And we attack for 16. Now it's Rainnite's turn. Draws an Nibiru, which is kind of contradictory because we can't summon that much, so it's unfortunate that that was his draw for that turn. But we hit him for 16. Now it's his turn. He draws another Nibiru, unfortunately. And we draw into our Herald of Ultimateness. We Cyber Emergency. We attack for 16. And then he draws into his Light Kaiju. From there, we attack for 16 again, and he activates, or he sets the Kaiju Slumber because he could not activate it because he had the Jizakuru in hand. So I was locked into Machine Light, So any other kaiju would not work, unfortunately. But yeah, we got 2-1 against Rainnite. It's been real back and forth between us ever since we first started dueling, and it's been a lot of fun dueling you so far. I look forward to dueling you more, Rainnite. Again, links to all these guys in the description down below. Let's go into match number 4. So we activate Drytron Nova, we're going first, and we go into Delta. Use Midionis Drytron to bring out the Draconids. So he summons out Alpha, which we imperm. And he goes into Farigite, summons out the monster. He can't target our monster, so he has to target the Farigite. Summons out Tri-Brigade Kit. Goes into another monster. We actually pop 2 monsters on his side of the field. And hits us for 700. So from here we summon out Manju, which gets Ash Blossomed, and we just end our turn. There's really nothing that we could do any further. So Droll Lockbird gets brought out, Access Kotaker gets brought out, and just basically a 4300 beat stick gets rid of our monster, attacks us for 4300, attacks us for 0 just to flex. Everyone's flexing on me with those 0 attacks, man. So we just surrender from there, and Melffy Rabby is like the best Melfi player that I've ever seen. Kudos to you for making this deck like incredible. So let's go ahead and go into game number 2 and see how we did against Melffy Rabby in that one. So, game number 2 of match number 4, we Cyber Emergency, we Nova, which gets Ash Blossomed. We summon out Zeta, and that's about as far as we can go. We settle card face down and pass turn. Melffy Rabby goes ahead and uses Obedience School, bringing out 3 beast monsters and going into Joyous Melffys. He attacks over us. Now it's our turn. We only have Cyber Angel Ben 10 really. We imperm his monster, and we bring out Zeta. We use Ben 10 to add Herald, and we go into Herald. Now it's Melffy Rabby's turn. Attacks over us. Ends their turn, bringing out Melfi Kati and Melfi Puppy, I believe. So we go into Chaos Dragon Levianeer, and that gets popped. And Melffy Rabby goes into Hopier Squadron, goes into Herald of the Arclight, summons Nerval, goes into Almirage, goes into Karas, and we literally just have a Herald of the Green Light in our hand, so we're pretty much screwed from there. Farigite comes out, Rescue Cat comes out, going into Karas and Kit. Then the Xyz monster hits us for pretty decent damage there, brings us down to less than half of our life points, goes into Zeus, and Puppy comes out, Caddy comes out. So it's our turn. We pre-prep, and we let it go because there's nothing that we could do from there. We were just like, you know what, not even gonna wait for the battle phase of the next turn, we're just gonna surrender. So that being said, we went 2-2 this week. This deck isn't doing too bad for a week 5 deck, I think. I really enjoyed dueling all these guys, Melffy Rabby, Biennas, Nick, and Rainnite. You guys all did great in the duels, and I'm looking forward to dueling all of you more. We just gotta start winning them because we want to beat that challenge before the end of this series in order to be able to bring stuff into the next series as well. Also, we gotta start beating our challenges so we can get structure decks and stuff. I know we have 2 points toward static stuff and 1 point toward structure deck, I believe. I believe that's what we have. Yeah, it is 1 structure and 2 static points. So maybe we'll have to open up a static product soon, but that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to like the video as always. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And let me know what you think I should open for the future videos so that I can figure out, you know, where to go with this deck. Probably going to continue trying for like Cyber Angel Natasha and stuff in a couple weeks here. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.